Chisel with Fogset News. Well, top of the news, the Justice Department is going after the treasonous rioters that invaded the Capitol on January 6th. And now the Supreme Court has ruled that the Attorney General in New York can go after the tax cheat escapist Donald Trump. We'll keep you updated with all the good news. And Senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, has cut short his vacation after skedaddling after the rest of his state was in dire freezing drought conditions, skipping off for a day to Cancun until he was busted at the airport and then scurried back. Well, that's what a cockroach does when the lights turned on it. Sorry, Ted. Texas is frozen. After the state, the Lone Star State, don't mess with Texas, although Mother Nature bats last. They chided California last year on their environmental record for burning up, and now they are facing their own disaster with their power grid failing after freezing, climate-driven temperatures have dropped below zero. Yes, it's tough to eat crow when you've got to defrost it for over a week. Valentine's Day is over, and so is the lovey-dove nest of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. But I could have told you that months ago. This is Bert Chisel for Fogset News. Hello, welcome to Fogset. My name is Michael Meehan, and today we have a very special guest, Professor Dr. Sebastian Feldspar of the Experimental Archaeology Department at Cairo University. Welcome, Dr. Professor.
Cool, great to be here, dude.
Do you prefer Dr. Professor or Professor Doctor?
Who cares? Whatever's cool.
Now, Dr. Professor Feldspar, your book on experimental archaeology, Dig It Baby, is zooming up the bestseller lists and is a chart topper, as they say. Explain what exactly is experimental archaeology?
So let's say I wanted to test whatever, I would make whatever and see how it would most likely be used. For example, the atlatl. You would make the atlatl and test it out, and however it would be most likely to be used, you would use it in that manner.
I see. Now, what exactly is an atlatl for those of us who don't know?
It's pretty much the non-stereotyped type of spear. When you think of a spear, a throwing spear, you think of throwing a spear, although that was only used for a couple hundred years. Now they use a stick that throws a stick, kind of like, those doggy thingies that you throw balls with. And then you put the stick in a little divot in the other stick, and you just fling a stick.
Dr. Professor Feldspar, with global warming and the ice melting, do you see the discovery of more finds, dinosaurs, flying saucers, my car keys that I lost?
But it's not within my area of expertise.
I got you. So most of it's experimental archaeology, recreating some of the tools from lost civilizations?
Yes, very much so.
What would be some of the other tools or devices that you would recreate?
The northern longbow, and also the Win-2 point that usually was created by Ishi, now known more as the Ishi point.
Dr. Professor, for those of us who are a bit of numbskulls in archaeology, can you explain exactly what an Ishi point is?
It's your average typical arrowhead, but it's more narrow and it has steep edges that are usually around 1 millimeter or half a millimeter thick. And then the notches, you usually see it in the signs that say National Park, the little divots essentially that go into an arrowhead. They curve upward like this. And it's one of the hardest types of flint knapping on Earth because you have to start off like this, and then in my opinion, my preferred way to create the Ishi point is start off by using an antler to take off little tiny pieces of the stone near the base, and then slowly curve upward. But then once you get to the point where it's swooping up, you have to start using this thing called indirect percussion. There's direct percussion where you get an antler billet or a piece of copper or a rock even, and you hit the edge of it using the conchoidal fracture. But if you want to get in a narrow space like you do when creating the notches on the ishi point, you have to use this thing called indirect percussion, where you grab an antler and something heavy like another antler, and one antler needs to be smaller than the other, and then you put your antler wherever you want to drive off a flake. It's usually a pretty small area, and then you hit it with the other antler to create a conchoidal fracture and usually get a more detailed flake.
And to recreate these tools, what sort of material do you use?
If I were to name every different thing, I would go on for hours. But the main types, I won't describe the types of flint, but it's anything with a high silica content. Like, for example, obsidian is one of the best things to make it out of. It's my preferred type. Some people would disagree because a lot of people like flint because it's tougher and it doesn't break off as easily. But I prefer obsidian just because it's a lot easier to pressure flake. Remember, this is just my opinion. And also, you can use flint, basalt, you can use, and then it depends what time period this is used in. So if it's this, all I'm talking about is from the Paleolithic time period to Neolithic time period, while later on it's in the Mesolithic time period, they more often used slate and other materials to grind rocks on other rocks that are easy to grind other rocks on, to be able to make the arrowheads, which in my opinion wasn't the best idea, but I mean, they conquered the other tribes, so pretty much they were able to choose what happens next. And because of that, what happened is a Mesolithic axe is about half or even less than half as good as a steel axe, while if you flint knap it with Paleolithic to Neolithic time periods technology, a arrowhead, or if you were to replicate a needle made of steel out of obsidian, it would be 500 to 1,500 times sharper than the steel needle, which is why in certain types of surgery they actually use obsidian blades instead of metal blades to perform the surgery. And that's only in certain places and certain surgeries, like eye surgery, for example. It's almost impossible to, fix an eye with a needle, essentially, that's made of metal, while obsidian, because it has such a sharper blade, it's so much easier to make the eye, for it to penetrate through the eye.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Professor Sebastian Feldspar, and good luck with your book, Dig It Baby, about experimental archaeology. And that is available in bookstores and museums, as well as a 900-part dance video on TikTok. Thanks so much for joining us on Fogset.
Great to be here.
There's tough jobs on this planet. Some of the toughest jobs are combat patrol in Afghanistan, coal mining, and deep-sea fishing. And then there's another kind of tough job. The men who deliver singing telegrams to the men who do those toughest jobs.
Hey, fellas. I've been a-wishing that I was a deep-sea fishing, but you fellas got me beat. Cast those nets, see what you get. Whoa, that wave almost swept me off my feet. You guys are super, hoist that grouper. Whoa, what's those hooks jiggle? I can't fathom what kind of spasm. Whoa, what's those fishes jiggle? Hey, fellas, I hope they're biting today.
Hi, AGT, it's Pippi Lovestocking, giving it another shot for 2020, the year that put a lot of us out of business. It's been harsh. Sheltering in place is it's given me a great deal of, a lot of downtime, and I've been able to do a whole lot of thinking. This is ginger ale, mostly. A little kudzu and a family treat. But actually, COVID is not my first epidemic. You're probably looking at me wondering, wow, what is her problem? But you see, I am a garden variety gay man, actually, and we're really great in the garden with the topiaries and succulents. We gravel pads. But I had to start dressing in drag in order to feel a little more alienated from the gay community. It's like, but now everybody's doing drag. Even the Pope's running around in a dress, but he really needs to up his accessory game. Come on, guy. You have a little money left, don't you? Seriously, COVID has been a challenge. There's no doubt about it. It's, we can wear little masks now and don't really worry about our appearance. I hope I don't look too disheveled. I'm still trying to make it in show business, but I'm getting older and I'm beginning to wonder if my first big break might turn out to be a hip fracture. That's for you in the back, Grandma. Just tune out. Well, the gay community, I'm a proud member of the gay community. I'm one of those bears that, people run away from. But doing the stand-up comedy thing is really, I find it to be such a solitary pursuit, much like my sex life. But I have to hand it to myself. I'm able to maintain a rich fantasy life, and I take what I can get. If I could get a straight man, I mean, I've tried in the past when I was younger. I had loads of opportunities to have dates with straight men, and of course I blew them all. But now I don't want to let anything slip through my fingers, and I am starting to get, frankly, a little desperate. So I'd gladly do an adult diaper commercial if I could get that opportunity. I think my commercial would be very cute. It would sound something like this. Hello, friends. My name is Pippi Lovestocking, and I'm a busy, active entertainer, but I'd like to share a little secret with you. I don't always make it to the restroom in time to take care of myself properly. That's why I depend on Barbara boxers. They're the shizzle, my nizzle. They make the term, "you go girl," take on a whole new meaning. I've been Pippi Lovestocking. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Humor. I am Professor Heinrich Stumpf, and today we are going to further discuss, I might add, when the joke goes wrong. Because of this, the pitfalls are many. You may tell a joke and the audience may get angry and throw things at you. That is when you know the joke has gone wrong. But in a case that is going before the Canadian Supreme Court, a comedian made fun of a young man who had a disability, and he was fined $40,000 in Canadian money. So, we will look at that. So, the comedian, his name was Mike Ward, and he made fun of a young boy who had a disability, and he had a deafness, and he also wanted to become a singer. So he was singing songs, the Canadian national anthem, etc. And this comedian, Mike Ward, made fun of him, and then the Council on Humanities and Human Rights came down and said, "You owe us $40,000, which, if you know anything about free speech, the comedy is protected by the free speech, but when you cross the line, where things happen." And that is where the gray area, and that is for the people in the court to decide, but that is where the joke will go wrong. Now, here's a joke you might say to some women friends, and it would not go over, and you would not be fined $40,000, perhaps, maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, we will show the clip. Before I get to the joke, let's show the clip. Inga, roll the clip of the young boy, Jeremy Gabriel, singing the national anthem at a hockey game in Canada.
Roll it. Inga, what's wrong? All right, well, we just moved and Inga's not familiar with some of that, so we don't have that video here. So let's just go right to the joke. And I actually have it on a little card here, like this, and we will go. And this is a joke that goes wrong, and some people will find funny, and other people will not find funny. A woman comes into the clubhouse on a golf course, and she is in pain. The golf pro says, "What happened?" And she says, "I was stung." He says, "Oh, you were stung?" She said, "Yes, I was stung by a bee." And he says, "Where were you stung?" And she says, "Between the first and second hole." And he says, the golf pro, "Oh, perhaps your stance is too wide." Get it? She's talking about the golf course holes, and he's thinking about the holes on the women. That's a good joke for the guys, but the ladies, maybe not so much. Anyway, you might get a little, what they call, flack about that one. So the awkward joke can also lead to embarrassing situations. So that is just a warning here on the humor to see. But of course, joking is always about telling the truth, but with a little twist in it like that. And so the comedy can sometimes really go wrong, and that's why we're talking about it. But it doesn't cost us $40,000 to tell that joke, but the guy, the Canadian comedian, he had to pay the money, so you never know. Of course, you don't know if the joke is bad until you tell it. Although sometimes the wife will say, "Hey, that's not a good joke to tell in front of people," and the comedian will say it anyway, and then all hell breaks loose, and the wife just says, "I told you so," and then she can't afford a new car because he has to pay the $40,000. So that is all we have for that, and I don't know. Here's a bad joke I will tell. Knock, knock. They say, "Who's there?" "How many squirrels does it take to screw in a light bulb?" "I don't know either. My area of study was mustelids, weasels, badgers, and other members of the family." Next question, please. So you see, I've completely demolished a joke and put 3 different things into it, and it's a mishmash. Don't do that. That comedy must be clear and concise. Where did you get stung? Between the first and second hole. There's no room for errors there except for in the humor. Anyways, that's all we have for today, so thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm Dr. Heinrich Stumpf of The Humor.
Hey, no dunking. What the hell are you supposed to do with it then? Hey, no splashing. But I always put a splash of soda in my whiskey. Hey, no running.
Los toros, los toros. Ah!
Where am I?
Hey everybody, Chuck Nausea here at our show, Finish That Phrase, and we got some exciting contestants here today, and they're ready to win some big money. Let's meet the Clunks. Hey, how are you,
Hi,
folks?
Chuck.
Welcome to Finish That Phrase. You guys ready to win the big
We're ready.
moolah? We're ready to play. Alrighty, let's get started. Okay, the first phrase, and this is for $200. Finish the phrase. A penny saved is a penny.
A penny saved is a penny for your thoughts.
Good answer. Good answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. A penny earned. Oh, no! Sorry about that. Oh, the Clunks are already $200 in the hole. That's got to hurt. All right, you ready for our next question, number 2?
Okay,
all right,
number 2.
Here we go. Our next phrase is, a stitch in time saves.
A stitch in time saves bottles and cans for recycling.
Good answer. Good answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That is incorrect. You're $400 in the hole. That's a negative $400 for the clunks. I'm so sorry. It's a
Okay,
stitch in
all right.
time saves 9. Okay, number 3.
Hey, you said we were on number 9.
No. The answer was number 9. We're now ready for number 3, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Number 3. Okay, yes, it is number 3 this time. You guys ready? The clunks, ready? And this is for $600. Okay, finish the phrase. We have nothing to fear but...
We have nothing to fear but bed bugs.
Good answer.
Bed bugs.
Good answer.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bed bugs is incorrect. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. Alrighty, they're deep in the hole. $1,000 in the hole for the clunks. They are not looking too good, but you guys can really pull this out because this is it's a double down round. That's right. So you win $1,600 if you finish this phrase correctly. The former president who just left office is known as a bit uncontrollable. You would describe him as a loose
onion.
Good
Onion.
answer.
They fall out of the bag, they roll around the car. Onion.
Oh, no. Loose onion is incorrect. Loose cannon. It was loose cannon. Well, it does not look good, but we are ready here to go for our final round. And if you guys are ready to win number 5, you guys ready to go, the clunks?
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get out. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, this time we're good. All right.
Okay, let's get going. Remember, this is for the big money to get out of the hole and to walk home with some cash in your pockets. You guys ready, the clunks? Okay, here we go. He who laughs last laughs
alone and is shunned by the others. Yeah.
Oh,
no, that's what happens.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
Come on.
Judges won't take that.
Judges won't take that. Oh, man, come on.
All right, clunks. This is for the big money and dig yourself out of this hole you've got in. You ready to go? Okay, number 6. Keep your nose to the...
Keep your nose to the van of the window when they take you to the asylum.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. Keep your nose to the rhinestone. Well, clunks, hey, it's been great having you on the show. We got some consolation prizes for you.
Thanks, Chuck. We really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good, right, honey? So to pay the money that we owe you, do you take personal checks or a credit card? We didn't bring her a credit card. You have a check, hon? Or?
We don't let anybody leave. Finish that phrase empty-handed, but thank you so much for playing. Those are the clunks. We'll be back after this with more Finish That Phrase. I'm Chuck Naggio. Thanks a lot. So get your grandson. Hiya folks, Donnie Donaldson here at Donnie Donaldson's Wigatorium, and look who I have with me, Mama Donaldson sporting her brand new Donnie Donaldson Wigatorium topper. Ain't that right, Mom?
That's right, dear, and I'll tell you, it makes me so popular down at the senior center, and I just don't know, well, I don't know what to say then.
You don't have to say anything. Your new hairdo says it all. You're worth $1 million. So come on down to Donnie Donaldson's. We're located right next to the Denny's that burned down last year's race riot. So there's plenty of parking. Ain't that right, Mom?
Yeah, that's right. I liked your brother better. I hate that line.
See, that's funny. But that's because it's funny.